Because this week you're going to be turning in your informative essay, I thought I would go through quickly exactly what is required of your essay, go through the rubric, as well as the instructions. So on the screen now are the instructions that you are given. This is found in week 10. I believe it's also found in weeks 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. It explains exactly what is required for your essay. And so let's just go through each of this is the rubric. So this is also the things that are required for your essay. And I just wanted to go through each of these things. I've done it a little, separated them out so that you can see exactly what needs to be done. First thing is a clear and focused purpose. Remember that in order to have a clear and focused purpose, you need to answer one of the prompt questions. And this is just one of the prompt questions. Please don't choose more than one. It's too hard to do that in one essay. Just choose one of the prompt questions, which you should know that by now because you've been working on this for the last several weeks. Here are the prompt questions, and so you'll choose one of these and then create your clear and focused purpose. Again, I explained this on how to write a thesis statement. If you have not written a good thesis statement, and you'll know that by viewing your feedback, please go back and fix it. Fix your thesis statement, or I will not be able to give you credit for it. Again, a quick way to do that, I've done that with each of the prompt questions. For example, the primary differences between top, middle, and lower level goals are, and then you list the 3 differences. This is a thesis statement. You could say the 3 things people can do to start changing bad habits are, and then you list each of those things, and that is a thesis statement. So this is a different way to do a thesis statement than some of the things that are explained in the writing lessons, but this will get you full credit. You are having a clear and focused purpose without opinion or bias. You've listed the elements that are going to be contained in your body paragraph. So anyhow, this is just one thing you need to do, a clear and focused purpose. Next is have an engaging introductory paragraph with an effective hook and a thesis statement. And I've included one. This is by Rob Hathaway from our class, one of our students. He has a really good hook. So remember, the hook goes right at the very first paragraph of your essay. It needs to draw the reader in, and the way that Rob's done this is to ask questions, and then he also explain some thoughts on his questions, and then you end with your thesis statement. So this is from our week 5 essay, but the principle is the same. So you can go back to the week 3, or I think it's week 2 or week 3 writing lesson that talks about effective hooks and thesis statements. So go ahead and do that. Next is that each body paragraph has a single controlling idea, and you will include that in your thesis statement. And then the topic sentence, each of those paragraphs should also have a topic sentence, which is the first sentence of the paragraph. And then each paragraph contains at least 2 supporting details that directly support the topic sentence. In each paragraph ends with a conclusion transition sentence. And so again, this is from Rob Hathaway's week 5 essay. You can see that he starts right at the top with a really good controlling idea. He explains what he's going to be talking about in the essay. He says that he's going to be talking about a previous experience as a production supervisor, and then the words of Latter-day Prophet. And then he goes through. The first example is his example from a previous experience he had as a production supervisor. And then the second supporting detail is the words of a prophet. And then he concludes with a good transition concluding sentence that ties directly back to these supporting details that he's mentioned, the quote by President Hinckley and his personal experience. And so this is how each of your body paragraphs should be written. Next is it should be 4 to 5 paragraphs depending on which prompt question you chose, and I've kind of gone through and showed you how many paragraphs you need for each, and it should be very obvious. What are 3 things people can do? You need 3 body paragraphs. You need to explain 3 of those things. What are two benefits? You need two body paragraphs. 3, 2, 3. What are the primary differences, and what is the difference between fixed and variable income? You can have 2 to 3 body paragraphs depending on how you write your essay. And make sure that your essay is between 500 and 750 words. I would rather that you not go over 750 words, or stay very close to that as possible. If you are, then there are probably some things you need to take out because of the limited number of paragraphs. You shouldn't write more than the amount of words that is listed here. Next is at least one credible source that's current, relevant, authoritative, accurate, and purposeful. And we talked about that a lot in the last few weeks, that the source is integrated into body of the essay using the ICE method. And I know there's only one credible source, but my suggestion for best practice would be to use more than one. It would be best if most of your citable sources are credible and most of your sources outside of your own experience are citable. And so make sure you use the ICE method. Remember, that's to introduce, cite, and explain. And Tara Cannon, one of our students, I'm using her example. She has the when, which is 2017. She has the what, which is the article on how to set goals and actually achieve them. This is the where she found it, and the what is she talking about. She has the who, which is Dr. Chin Han, and then she has her introductory verb, which is explained. And then she ends with a really good explanation. And so this is really important to do, and again, my suggestion would be all the sources that you use, that you make them citable using the ICE method. Next is you have a strong concluding paragraph that revisits the themes and ideas from the introductory or body paragraphs and provides the reader with closure. Again, this is from Rob Hathaway, so thank you, Rob. He ties this back to the production supervisor, and we read through about some of that in his body paragraph. He again mentions President Hinckley, which he mentioned in his body paragraph, and then he ties back to his introductory paragraph with success comes through a willingness to accept and apply criticism. And then he ends with a really good closure. He shares his thoughts on how this will bring happiness and if they apply it in their lives, and then he asks some questions. So really great closure. And then finally, remember we just did this. You'll need to have the correct format: Times New Roman, 12-point font, 1-inch margins, left justified heading, centered title, at least 4 justified indented paragraphs, 4 because you have 1 introductory paragraph, 1 conclusion paragraph, and then 2 to 3 body paragraphs. So the minimum would be 4 if you just had 2 body paragraphs, and that there are no more than 2 distracting grammatical errors. And again, here's the example of how you would do that. Make sure you put your own name at the top. Sister Daily, we put our due date, the date that this assignment is due, which is the 23rd of November, and then you start in with your title and then into your essay. Hopefully this helps. Please let me know if you have any questions, or if you'd like me to look over your essay before you submit it. I'd love to do that. Thanks.